Valar Morghulis. What if Robb Stark escaped the Red Wedding? Let's explore the possibilities that might have been. The camp of the northern host spreads along the banks of the Green Fork. Evening shadows stretch long, and the air is heavy with the scent of the river and damp tents. Robb Stark stands outside his pavilion, hands clasped behind him, gazing at the twins, two identical castles straddling the river, connected by a stone bridge. The wedding of Edmure Tully and Roslin Frey is set to seal a fragile alliance, but all day, Robb has felt an unease gnawing at him. Grey Wind, his great direwolf, prowls restlessly within a hastily made pen near the stables. He snaps at anyone who comes too close, and Robb does not like it. The wolf's mood is a mirror to his own. Catelyn Stark approaches, her face etched with worry.
Robb, you look troubled.
Robb Stark turns, forcing a tight smile.
Mother, I cannot shake this feeling. Lord Walder Frey is too accommodating. He invited us in, yes, but I sense tension. The halls are filled with curious eyes and too few smiles.
Walder Frey delights in making others uncomfortable, but we must trust this marriage alliance. Edmure weds Roslin tonight, and that should heal old wounds.
Robb runs a hand through his auburn curls.
I pray you are right. Still, I'll station some of our men in the outer yard near our horses. I want to ensure that if anything goes awry, we're not caught unawares.
Catelyn nods slowly, concern deepening in her eyes.
Do as you must, my son.
Mother, I've already taken precautions. I left Talisa at River Run safe under my uncle's protection. She wished to accompany me, but I would not risk her well-being here, not with so much uncertainty.
He summons a small cadre of loyal Northmen, men from House Castle and House Tallheart, to keep watch. He knows it might be seen as discourteous, but courtesy is not worth his family's blood. Inside the great hall of the twins, long trestle tables groan under roasted meats, fresh bread, and flagons of wine. The air is thick with heat and noise. Minstrels tune their instruments in a corner. Walder Frey, ancient and sharp-eyed, presides from a dais, his wrinkled face like old parchment. He surveys the assembled with a sly grin. Edmure Tully sits beside his new bride, Roslin Frey, who seems shy but sweet-natured. Edmure beams like a man who believes in happy endings.
Sister, Roslin is a gem. The Freys have surprised me.
I am pleased for you, Edmure. May this marriage bring peace.
Robb stands nearby in his mail under a fine doublet of stark gray and white. He has accepted bread and salt, drunk their wine, but he does not remove his sword belt. Many of his lords do the same. Rose Bolton, pale and calm, sips wine as if nothing in the world could trouble him. The Freys move about, smiling too readily, refilling cups too often.
Robb, relax. You are making them suspicious.
If they suspect I suspect, that might keep them honest.
He notices Walder Frey's brood, Lane Lothar, Black Walder, exchanging glances. Edmure's bedding is imminent, the final custom before the feast ends. Outside, the wind picks up. Robb feels Grey Wind's absence keenly. The time comes for the bedding. The hall erupts with laughter and bawdy jokes. Men step forward to carry Roslin off. Women pull at Edmure's clothes. It should be harmless fun, but Robb sees something else. Frey men drifting toward doors, the musicians exchanging nods.
Mother, do you hear that?
Catelyn strains to listen. The minstrels begin a new tune. The Rains of Castamere. A Lannister song, ominous and out of place in a wedding meant to mend northern and riverine alliances.
The Rains of Castamere. Robb, something is wrong.
Before Robb can respond, the doors slam shut. Frey crossbowmen emerge from behind tapestries. Walder Frey stands, raising a hand.
My honored guest, a gift for you.
Chaos threatens. Robb's heart hammers. He clenches his fists. He will not be caught like a lamb to slaughter.
Mother, down!
He drops to a crouch, pulling Catelyn with him as a quarrel flies overhead. Northmen shout in alarm. The Frey's treachery has begun. But Robb is prepared, or as prepared as one can be. All day, Robb had felt uneasy. Before entering the hall, he had quietly ordered a handful of picked men, loyal clansmen from the north and some seasoned archers, to remain just outside, feigning drunkenness. He also ensured that their horses were not stabled too far. Now, as arrows fly, these guards rush in at Robb's shouted command.
Now, my friends, for the north!
With a savage cry, they push past startled Frey guards at the main doors. A Frey crossbowman looses a bolt that nicks Robb's shoulder. Pain flares, but he ignores it.
Robb, the music.
But the music becomes screams as Northerners counterattack. Bolton men who expected easy prey find steel meeting their blades. Within moments, the hall is bedlam. Tableware clatters, men topple over benches, and the smell of blood rises. Edmure Tully is dragged from the betting party by loyal Tully men who manage to slip their daggers free. Roslin cries out in fear.
Please, no harm.
A Frey steps to seize Catelyn, but Robb slashes him across the chest. He glares at Walder Frey, who remains on the dais, shrieking commands.
Kill them! Kill the young wolf!
Outside, the howls of grey wind fill the night. The direwolf, furious and sensing his master's peril, throws himself against the pen's wooden bars. Northern soldiers loyal to Robb break grey wind free. The great wolf charges into the courtyard, scattering Frey soldiers who rush to barricade doors. Within the hall, Robb's loyalists rally around him. The surprise was meant for them, but they are no lambs. The North remembers, and these men fight like cornered wolves. Catelyn crawls under a table, snatching a knife from a fallen Frey. Her heart breaks for the broken trust, but she focuses on survival.
Robb, behind you!
A Frey swings an axe at Robb's back. Robb twists, catching the axe with his sword's edge, and headbutts the man. Another bolt skims past Robb's ear.
Protect the king in the north!
Hearing that cry, more northern lords who had not fully disarmed, the Mormonts, the Tallhearts, reveal hidden daggers. They rise, turning the tables. Walder Frey's trap is not the silent slaughter he planned. Soon, the Freys begin to fall back. The Frey attack is disorganized without the element of complete surprise. Some Freys drop their weapons and kneel, begging mercy. Others try to flee, only to find grey wind and northern archers blocking the courtyard. Robb leaps onto the dais, sword held high. Walder Frey, cowering behind his kin, shrills at his men.
Fight, you fools! Don't let them take me!
But few answer him now. Seeing their treachery fail, Lothar Frey and Black Walder attempt to slip away through a side door. A Mormont soldier hurls a spear, pinning Lothar's leg to the doorframe. Black Walder is forced back into the hall.
Lord Walder, you invited me under guest right and tried to murder us. For this, I cannot forgive.
Walder Frey's eyes bulge.
You broke your vow first, boy. You swore to marry one of my daughters, but instead took that foreign bride from the south.
Catelyn emerges from behind a toppled table, her dress torn, face grim.
We offered you the chance to amend old wrongs. This is your answer?
Robb's men encircle the dais. Freys lie dead or dying. Roslin sobs beside Edmure, who holds her protectively.
Robb, what do we do now?
Robb contemplates Walder Frey. The old man stinks of fear. Robb thinks of his father's honor, Ned Stark's legacy. He thinks of the price of mercy and the need for justice.
We take them prisoner, all of them.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you like this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 99% of you watch the videos without subscribing. Imagine what we could accomplish if everyone subscribed. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, is it done? Great, thank you so much. As dawn breaks over the blood-stained hall, Robb's forces secure the twins. Frey survivors are disarmed. Horses are readied. Robb learns that Rose Bolton slipped away at the start of the melee. Clever traitor that he is. But he cannot have gotten far.
Rose Bolton was here. He wore mail under his clothing. I saw it.
I should have guessed. Bolton treachery. I'll not let him escape.
He sends mounted scouts to hunt Bolton down on the roads to the south. The Frey castle guard, confused and leaderless, submit when promised their lives if they surrender. Great John Umber, who was drugged with strong wine to keep him placid, awakens groggy but furious.
Robb, I dreamt of Frey stabbing us in the back. Gods be good, it was no dream.
Robb Stark smiles grimly.
We live, Great John, and now we hold the twins. Walder Frey is our prisoner.
The Northmen cheer. Robb sends ravens at once, to River Run, to the Lords of the Trident. He wants all to know the Frey treachery has failed. Outside, beyond the walls, a pair of figures approach warily. Arya Stark and Sandor Clegane, the Hound, have come too late for the original slaughter they feared. Instead, they find the aftermath of a battle.
The twins. There was supposed to be a wedding. The Hound said we'd never get in unnoticed.
Looks like someone else made a mess of their wedding. Your wolf brother still might be inside, girl.
Arya's heart leaps with hope. She has been adrift, lost, hunted. If Robb lives...
Hound, if Robb is alive, maybe I can go home.
Sandor eyes her.
If he's alive, I won't get paid for delivering you to your mother. But I've had enough of Lannister gold. Let's see what welcome we find.
They approach a gate where northern guards now hold Frey men at sword point. One northern soldier blinks in astonishment at Arya's face, so like her mother's.
Gods, that's Arya Stark.
Soon, word reaches inside. Catelyn and Robb rush out, disbelief and joy mingling.
Arya, my precious girl.
Mother, Robb!
They embrace fiercely, tears in their eyes. The men watch, moved by the reunion. Robb thanks the Hound with a curt nod. Sandor just shrugs.
A lot of fuss for a little wolf. I'll be on my way if you don't mind.
Hound, you delivered my sister safely. For that, I won't forget.
I expect no less. Take care, wolves.
He departs, leaving Arya with her family once more. Far to the south, in King's Landing, news travels slowly. But within a week, whispers arise that Walder Frey's wedding surprise failed, and that Robb Stark has taken the twins and captured Walder Frey. The Lannisters are confounded. In the Red Keep's gardens, Sansa Stark sits on a bench beside Margaery Tyrell, newly betrothed to King Joffrey. Sansa's marriage to Tyrion Lannister has been forced upon her. She feels trapped and fearful.
Sansa, have you heard the rumors? They say your brother Robb lives, and that the Freys plot failed.
Sansa Stark presses her trembling hands together.
I'm scared. If Robb lives, Joffrey might blame me for his survival. He might think I had a hand in it.
Hush, sweet Sansa. You are blameless. No one can hold you accountable for events so far away.
Sansa tries to find comfort in Margaery's words, but terror lingers in her heart. She cannot show joy openly. It might cost her dearly. Tyrion Lannister approaches, cautious and kind.
Lady Sansa, you seem troubled.
I fear what the Lannisters will do now that the North remains defiant.
Tyrion sighs, understanding too well the precarious nature of politics in King's Landing.
We must all tread carefully. The game has changed.
Back at the Twins, Robb convenes a gathering in the Great Hall, now cleared of corpses. Walder Frey is dragged forward in chains, along with a few key conspirators. Edmure stands tall beside Robb, Roslin clinging to his arm. Catelyn and Arya watch from the sidelines. Great John Umber and other northern lords form a stern audience.
Lord Walder, you invited me here as a guest, gave bread and salt, then tried to murder me and my kin. I name you a traitor to the North and the Riverlands.
It was your fault, breaking faith, marrying that girl, the Lannisters.
Robb slams his sword pommel on the table.
Silence. Your crimes are clear, yet I am no butcher. I will not slaughter your entire house. Instead, I will exact terms.
The hall is silent. The Freys look fearfully at their lord, who trembles like a leaf.
You, Walder Frey, will yield the twins to the River Lords. The Freys shall remain bannermen to the Tullys. Your grandsons will serve as hostages to ensure your good behavior. And you will send letters to all your allies, condemning this treachery.
Walder Frey sputters.
You can't.
He can. Your life is in his hands.
You dare.
Robb Stark stands firm.
If you refuse, I will hang you today and name a more loyal Frey as Lord of the Crossing. Perhaps Roslin's fidelity might spare some of your brood, but not you.
My bride Roslin has proven blameless. She knew nothing of this plot.
Robb nods.
For Roslin's sake and Edmure's happiness, I show mercy. Choose, Walder Frey.
Weeping with frustration, Walder Frey consents. The twins come under Tully oversight, ensuring Frey compliance. Ravens fly out, announcing Robb's victory over the Treachery. At midday, scouts return with news. Rose Bolton was captured trying to cross the Green Fork to the south. Dragged back in chains, Bolton shows no fear.
King Robb, I served you loyally until it served me no longer. The Lannisters offered me the North, and I took it.
Catelyn Stark's face contorts with disgust.
How could you betray the son of your liege lord?
War tests loyalty. The Red Wedding was meant to end this war swiftly.
Robb contemplates the fate of Rose Bolton. The Karstarks and Umbers clamor for Bolton's death.
Hang him! Flay the flayer, I say!
Robb remembers his father's code. The man who passes the sentence should swing the sword.
Rose Bolton, for treason against the king in the north and House Stark, I sentence you to death.
No plea for mercy passes Bolton's lips. He only inclines his head, cold as ever. Before dusk, Robb personally executes Rose Bolton outside the twins. A solemn hush falls as northern men witness justice done. With the Freys subdued and Bolton dead, Robb secures the Riverlands more firmly. He writes to Riverrun, informing Talisa of his survival and victory. He sends missives to loyal lords in the north, bidding them hold fast. A week later, unexpected visitors arrive. Envoys from Highgarden. Mace Tyrell's emissaries bear respectful greetings. They have learned that the Lannisters' cunning trap failed. The realm's balance shifts.
King Robb, my lord Mace Tyrell wishes to discuss common cause against the Lannisters. They are weakened, and if we act together, we might bring about a swifter peace.
The Tyrells supported the Iron Throne. Why change now?
Because the Lannisters' promises ring hollow and their cruelty grows. The Tyrells value stability. Your survival proves the North is not to be trifled with.
Catelyn regards the envoy carefully. She knows alliances can turn tides.
If we align, what terms do you propose?
We suggest a pact of mutual defense. Highgarden will curtail the flow of Lannister supplies, and in return, the North and Riverlands might consider a future marriage alliance or trade agreements.
Robb considers. His war against the Iron Throne was sparked by his father's murder. With Frey treachery foiled, perhaps he can bring King's Landing to the table for peace or secure better positions for his sisters.
We will consider this offer. I must first see to the strengthening of the North and ensure my sister's safety.
The envoy nods. Rumors say Sansa is a hostage in King's Landing. Arya now safe with her family, and Bran and Rickon somewhere in the north. Robb wants them all safe before any final move. At the twins, the mood lightens over time. Roslin Frey weeps from relief that her family lives, even if shamed. Edmure Tully comforts her.
Roslin, you are a lady of House Tully now. We'll build a better future for the Riverlands together.
Thank you, Edmure. I feared you would hate me.
Edmure shakes his head.
You had no part in this treachery.
Arya Stark, reunited with her mother and brother, struggles with the horrors she witnessed on the road. She confides in Catelyn.
Mother, I've seen too much death. I thought I lost you all.
Catelyn holds Arya close, tears in her eyes.
You are home now, Arya. We will keep you safe.
Robb, hearing them, vows silently to find a way to rescue Sansa as well. He must deal with the Iron Throne, possibly force a truce or ensure Sansa's release. Robb dispatches ravens, one to Castle Black, inquiring about his brothers Bran and Rickon, rumored lost. Another to White Harbor, asking the Manderleys to stand firm. He also sends word to Dorne, hoping to sound out their stance since the Lannisters offended them with Aaliyah Martell's murder years ago. He confers with Catelyn.
Mother, if we can rally the Vale or gain Dorne's sympathy, we could encircle the Lannisters.
The Vale is ruled by Lysa, who mourns my father's as well as husband's death. She might refuse all entreaties out of fear. Dawn is slow to move, but they hate the Lannisters. Time might favor us.
Robb paces, restless.
We must move carefully. The Tyrrell offer intrigues me. If they curb the Lannisters from the south, we can apply pressure in the Riverlands. Perhaps we can demand Sansa's safe return as part of a peace treaty.
Arya stands nearby, listening.
Robb, if we can get Sansa back, then all of us.
We will, Arya, I swear it.
In King's Landing, Sansa grows quieter, more poised, hiding her terror behind courtesy. She stands with Tyrion on a balcony overlooking the city.
Sansa, the court whispers that Robb Stark has thwarted a Frey plot. He holds the twins.
That means my family is alive. I should be glad, but I'm scared. The Lannisters will be angrier than ever.
Tyrion tries to reassure her.
I will do what I can to protect you. Joffrey may rave, but my father Tywin is pragmatic. With Robb alive and victorious, the Lannisters must re-evaluate their strategy.
She studies Tyrion's mismatched eyes, uncertain if she can trust him.
Thank you, my lord. I miss my family terribly.
Tyrion nods, understanding more than she knows.
Perhaps this new balance of power will give us a chance to negotiate. The realm needs peace.
Within a fortnight, a raven returns from Highgarden with more concrete proposals. The Tyrells suggest a secret meeting between their ambassadors and Robb's representatives at Maidenpool, a neutral ground in the Riverlands. Catelyn volunteers to go, but Robb hesitates.
I should send Edmure. As Lord of Riverrun, he is closely tied to these lands. Also, I must remain with the army to ensure order at the Twins and secure our position.
Agreed. Edmure will represent us well, and I will remain at your side this time. I will not leave you in these uncertain days.
Robb, can I come with you wherever you go now?
Robb smiles gently at his sister.
A battlefield is no place for you, Arya. But I won't send you away. Stay close, stay safe. One day we'll return to Winterfell.
Arya nods, her eyes shining at the thought of going home. With the Freys subdued, Robb must reassert northern strength. He orders the rebuilding of alliances fractured by the war. He writes to House Manderly, House Glover, House Serwyn, asking them to prepare for a future push to retake Moat Cailin if the Ironborn still hold it.
The Ironborn hold parts of the north, but with our forces intact, we can push them out. Once our southern flank is secure, we must reclaim every inch of our homeland.
Aye, your grace! The Ironborn are raiders, not conquerors. We'll show them the price of their folly.
One battle at a time, Robb. Secure peace with the Tyrells and possibly force a treaty with the Crown. Then we handle the Ironborn.
Robb knows she is right. He cannot fight all enemies at once. Strategic patience will serve him better than reckless valor. Edmure Tully rides to Maidenpool, escorted by a small retinue. There, beneath the watchful eyes of both Stark Tully men and Tyrell soldiers, the meeting proceeds. The Tyrell ambassador, Lady Leonette Fossaway, speaks kindly.
My Lord Edmure, Highgarden seeks a balanced peace. The Lannisters are weakened by their failure at the Twins. We would see a stable northern Riverlands, not more chaos.
King Robb desires the return of his sister Sansa and recognition of the North's independence. He also desires the Riverlands to remain free of Lannister influence.
That may be negotiated. In return, the Tyrells would require assurance that when the war ends, trade routes reopen, and we see no raids into the Reach.
They talk for hours, sipping watered wine, exchanging conditions. A preliminary understanding forms. The Tyrells will pressure the Lannisters to sue for peace, or at least to release Sansa Stark. In exchange, Robb will not march south into the Reach, and future trade will benefit both sides. In the Red Keep, Tywin Lannister receives garbled accounts of failed treachery at the Twins and Tyrell intrigues. He sits in silence, steepling his fingers.
Cersei, Joffrey's arrogance has cost us an ally in Walder Frey. Now the Freys are humiliated and controlled by the Starks.
Cersei paces, furious.
The Tyrells have always been opportunistic. Now they align with the wolves to bring down the lion.
We must consider peace. If Robb Stark stands strong, and we cannot rely on the Boltons or Freys, we risk a long, costly war.
Joffrey Baratheon bursts in, red-faced.
I want the Stark girl's head! Sansa should pay!
Tywin fixes Joffrey with a cold stare.
Silence, boy. Shouting will achieve nothing. We may need Sansa as a bargaining chip.
Joffrey sulks, but Tywin's word is law. They must rethink their strategy. A month after the Red Wedding's failed treachery, a raven from King's Landing arrives at the twins. It bears news that the crown is open to discussing terms. They offer a hostage exchange. Sansa Stark returned to her family in exchange for a cessation of hostilities, and possibly the release of certain Lannister bannermen captured in earlier skirmishes.
Oh, Robb, Sansa might come home.
Sansa alive. We can be sisters together again.
Robb Stark weighs the offer. He must ensure no trick. He sends a cautious reply, agreeing to meet Crown representatives at a neutral location along the Trident. On a crisp autumn morning, a small party from King's Landing meets Robb Stark's delegation by the Trident. Tyrion Lannister stands at their head, guarded but polite. Sansa rides beside him, pale but determined.
Robb.
Robb Stark dismounts, rushes forward, and embraces his sister gently.
Sansa, thank the gods.
Arya joins them, tears in her eyes.
Sansa, I missed you.
I'm scared, but now that I see you both, I feel braver.
Tyrion clears his throat.
We have delivered Lady Sansa as agreed. In return, the Crown requests a temporary truce.
Robb nods. He has no desire for endless bloodshed.
We agree to a truce while we hammer out a lasting peace. The North and Riverlands must be free of Lannister claws.
Tyrion smiles wryly.
We shall see what can be done. Until then, may cooler heads prevail.
With Sansa and Arya reunited with Robb and Catelyn, and the Riverlands steady under Tully's stewardship, the Stark cause looks stronger than ever. They secure the twins under a loyal Castellan chosen from among the River Lords. The Freys, humbled, swear anew their fealty. Edmure and Roslin settle into a calmer married life, and Roslin proves a gentle, kind influence on Edmure.
Robb, we must next address the Ironborn problem. Balon Greyjoy still holds Moat Cailin.
I will send word to House Manderley. With the Frey betrayal thwarted, we can move north. Once Moat Cailin falls, the north is ours fully again.
What of King's Landing? Will the Lannisters strike back?
Robb takes her hand.
We hold their shame over them. They tried to slay us under guest right. The realm knows. Their position weakens. With the Tyrells and possibly Dorne leaning away from the Lannisters, they cannot afford reckless attacks. Peace, or at least a stalemate, might follow.
I hope they suffer.
Catelyn soothes Arya's anger.
Patience, child. Vengeance is a fierce fire, but we must not burn ourselves.
Another moon's turn passes. Negotiations continue via ravens and envoys. The Lannisters, pressed by Tyrell maneuvers and unrest in the west, yield ground. In exchange for northern withdrawal from the south, they formally acknowledge northern independence and agree to restore certain Riverlord lands ravaged by war. Dorne remains quiet, but not hostile. The Vale stays aloof, Lisa Tully refusing to commit.
We have what we need for now. Our family safe, our land secure. The Iron Throne is wounded. Perhaps in time, we can rebuild a realm at peace.
Your father would be proud, Robb. You brought our family through the darkest night.
A toast to the king in the north!
All the northern and river lords present roar their approval. Robb Stark smiles, though sadness still lies behind his eyes. The cost has been great, but at least his kin survive. He will return to Winterfell once it is safe, restore his home, and ensure no false guest right breaks the north again. In the months that follow, a tenuous peace settles over Westeros. The North and Riverlands form a confederation under King Robb Stark. The twins remain under careful watch. Walder Frey's heirs serve as guests in Riverrun, ensuring the old man's good behavior. Sansa and Arya find some measure of peace together. Arya sneaks into the practice yard, sparring with a wooden sword, dreaming of becoming a warrior. Sansa learns diplomacy, helping Catelyn and Robb manage letters and alliances. Catelyn receives word from the Blackfish at Riverrun. He holds the castle secure. Talisa sends affectionate letters to her husband, awaiting his return. Robb plans to ride to Riverrun soon to see his queen. In King's Landing, Tyrion Lannister sighs relief that bloodshed has paused. Marguerite Tyrell watches Joffrey carefully, knowing her family's subtle influence now sways the realm's fate more than ever. The realm is not at perfect peace, but a fragile calm prevails. Robb Stark's survival at the Red Wedding changed the course of history. The North stands proud, the Starks reunited and respected. Walder Frey's treachery failed, and Rose Bolton's betrayal was punished. Westeros moves into a new chapter, one where honor and cunning vie less desperately, and where the wolves of the North run free beneath their own banners, having escaped the jaws of a treachery that once seemed certain. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video and subscribe to Visions of Valyria. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let us know which what-if scenarios you'd like us to explore next. Until then, may your swords stay sharp, and your wit even sharper. Valar Morghulis.